Spiders are probably one of the most common animals we find inside our homes, especially when it comes to these little guys called house spiders. But have you ever stopped to think, how long do house spiders live? Are they like your typical wolf spider who only lives for a year or maybe even less? Well, if you've been wondering this and more, keep watching, because today we're going to show you surprising facts about house spiders and how long they live. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button for more videos just like this one. And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Okay, let's begin. In general, house spiders tend to live anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. However, there are many different factors that determine how long any particular spider might live. Things such as a plentiful food source, a safe and comfortable environment, and minimal human impact all contribute to a longer life expectancy for spiders. However, most of the time these factors don't really align in our favor, and most spiders end up living less than a year. When it comes to house spiders, you might be asking yourself, well, what is the average lifespan of a house spider? Well, we're happy to tell you that the average lifespan of a house spider is about 18 months. However, some species may live shorter or longer lives depending on the factors previously mentioned. It's important to note that many house spiders are not the same species. There are actually over 45,000 known species of spiders worldwide, and new ones are being discovered all the time. It's possible that some of these spiders may live longer or shorter than 18 months, but more research needs to be done to confirm this. It's also worth noting that most spiders live less than a year in the wild due to predators, extreme weather, and lack of resources. In captivity, however, with proper care and a controlled environment, some species can live much longer. For example, the tarantula can live up to 30 years in captivity. Another thing to consider is that spiders typically go through several molts as they grow, which makes them more vulnerable to predators and environmental stress. Molting is the process by which spiders shed their exoskeletons as they grow larger, and it's a crucial part of their development. During this time, they're more vulnerable to predators and environmental stress, which can impact their lifespan. In fact, molting is one of the most dangerous times in the life of a spider, and many don't survive the process. But now you might be wondering, well, does the sex of the spider affect its lifespan? The answer is yes. Female house spiders tend to live longer than males. This is common among many spider species, where females typically live from 1 to 2 years and males only live for a few months. This is because female spiders are larger and need more time to reach maturity. They also produce silk, which requires more energy to create, which contributes to their longer lifespan. Males, on the other hand, focus on finding a mate and producing sperm rather than growing larger and producing silk. Once they mate, they usually die shortly after leaving the females to lay their eggs and establish a web. So when we talk about the lifespan of house spiders, we're usually referring to the female of the species, since they tend to live longer than males. But what about the babies? How long do they live? Baby house spiders, also known as spiderlings, typically start their lives in the fall. When the weather begins to cool down, they stay in their webs throughout the winter until spring arrives. At this point, they leave their webs and search for new ones to call home. Throughout the year, they continue to spin new webs until it's time to mate and lay eggs, beginning the cycle anew. So basically, baby house spiders usually live for around a year before they die and lay eggs. Now, you might be wondering, why do house spiders live so long? Well, it's actually because they're an incredibly adaptable species. House spiders can thrive in a variety of environments, including both warm and cold climates. They're also able to build webs in a wide range of places, which helps them avoid predators and harsh weather conditions. Additionally, house spiders are efficient hunters and can capture a variety of insects as food. They're also resistant to many pesticides, which helps them survive for longer periods of time. All these factors combined make it so that house spiders can live longer than many other species. However, despite their adaptability, house spiders are still vulnerable to certain threats. For example, pesticides specifically designed to target spiders can harm or kill them. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes can also wipe out large populations of house spiders. But perhaps the biggest threat to house spiders is habitat destruction. As humans continue to develop more land, house spiders lose their natural habitats and are forced to live in areas where there's more competition for resources and fewer places to build webs. So while house spiders are a resilient species, they still face challenges in today's world. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the purpose of a house spider? What do they do in the ecosystem? Well, house spiders play an important role in the ecosystem of our homes. As predators, they feed on insects that can be pests, such as flies, moths, and mosquitoes. This helps us by reducing the number of these insects in our homes and preventing them from becoming a nuisance. Additionally, house spiders themselves can become food for other animals such as birds and lizards if they're able to catch them. Their presence also helps to keep the insect population in check, which prevents these insects from becoming a nuisance or carrying diseases. By doing so, house spiders help to maintain a healthy balance in the ecosystem of our homes. Some people might see house spiders as a nuisance because they can sometimes build webs in inconvenient places. However, it's important to remember that they're playing an important role in keeping our homes free of other pests. Instead of killing house spiders, we can try to coexist with them by placing their webs in areas that are less in our way. We can also appreciate the beauty and complexity of their webs, which are actually a remarkable feat of engineering. So next time you see a house spider in your home, take a moment to appreciate the important role it plays in our ecosystem and the amazing adaptations that allow it to thrive. Well folks, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think would love it. We also have plenty of other videos about all sorts of fascinating creatures, so make sure to check those out too. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, curious minds, don't just take my word for it. Let's check out some facts about house spiders from experts. After all, we want to make sure we're giving you the most accurate information possible. According to an article on the website Ask This Old House, house spiders typically live for about a year and a half. However, some species can live longer or shorter lives. The article also mentions that female house spiders tend to live longer than males, which is interesting. Another article on the website Hunker also states that house spiders typically live for about a year and a half. However, they also mention that some species can live for up to 2 years. These sources provide a good range for the lifespan of house spiders, and it seems like 18 months is a pretty good estimate. Now let's look at some expert opinions on the matter. In an article on the website Terminex, professional pest controller Justin Riffler states that house spiders can live anywhere from 6 months to 3 years. He also mentions that the average lifespan is about 18 months, which is consistent with the information we've already found. Additionally, the website BugGirl identified house spiders as one of the most common spiders found indoors and states that they can live for about a year and a half. Overall, it seems like most experts agree that the average lifespan of a house spider is somewhere between 1 and 2 years. Now let's take a look at what the scientific literature has to say. A study published in the Journal of Insect Behavior found that the lifespan of a house spider depends on several factors, including temperature, humidity, and food availability. The study states that under optimal conditions, house spiders can live for up to 2 years. Another study published in the journal Ecography found that the lifespan of a house spider can vary depending on its geographic location. The study states that house spiders living in warmer climates tend to have longer lifespans than those in colder climates. Overall, the scientific literature supports the idea that the lifespan of a house spider can vary depending on environmental factors, and that under ideal conditions, they can live for up to 2 years. So it seems like there's a lot of information to support the idea that house spiders can live for up to 2 years, while some individuals may live shorter or longer lives. This is a good estimate based on the available evidence. Remember, the next time you see a house spider in your home, take a moment to appreciate the amazing adaptations that allow it to thrive.